Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, RLT. How's everybody doing? Apologies for the sound delay. I had to go set up YouTube. But anyway, we're all set up. How's everybody doing? Tuesday morning, bright and early. Looking like a fun, exciting trade trading kind of day. Today we have Jerome Powell on the mic at noon, and then we've got lots of other Fed speakers on, and then we've got the president at nighttime for a State of the Union speech. So that's going to be exciting. I wonder if they're both going to have conflicting statements. I actually do believe that Jerome Powell, when he does come on the mic, I think he is just simply going to justify the quarter point raise, and I don't think he's going to. Oh, at least I don't know if he's going to deliberately try to toggle off the market and push us in a bear momentum. Although I do think that is needed. So yeah, we'll see. Noon can get quite interesting. I would just stay away from any riskier investments. If you're in something, I would right at 11 o'clock or right at 10:30, I would do it with half an hour, or I would try to close out my position by then, because we don't know what he's going to say exactly. So that's just my opinion. Let's get this party started today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Chuck says, how about you? I'm doing great. It's just so much fun. I spent the entire weekend listening to Miley Cyrus's Flowers. This is such a catchy song. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Well, let's get this started. Let's go look at the cues. We are flat as a pancake right now. No movement whatsoever. I mean, we're right where we ended yesterday, and it's just one of those nothing burger kind of moves on the cues right now. But today is going to get an exciting push in either direction. And I'll show you with multiple tickers what I mean. It's just, everyone's screaming for either explosion or a pullback. And we're gonna decide today which direction we go. So let's see. All right, the cues are right over here. And I was discussing this with a bunch of people yesterday. To me, I feel like we are done with that 5-wave count, and we need to pull back to at least this level, at least the 10 EMA, maybe start that ABC correction. I do know that we're going to get the AB. I don't know if we're going to get that C correction right away, but I do think that this pullback is necessary. If we look on the weekly chart, this is where that retest of the double bottom is. So, I do think that we're at least going to come down to like 295. 298 is my target if I am going short on anything. 298, 297 is when I'll look to close out some positions. So there's that happening for sure. I mean, I do know that pullback could come in, or it's needed. I don't know if it's going to happen today or tomorrow or in a couple more weeks, but it is due. Then we might get a little bit of a bounce up ahead, and then we might get a little bit of a rejection. I don't know. Again, that forecast is really tough. I don't know when that could come in, but that's just my opinion as of right now. So let's go look at the hourly, see if we can find some levels that we shouldn't let go of. On the hourly, we have this existing trend line that's been going on from, it goes all the way back to here. Let's zoom out a little bit to here. So if you extended it, it goes all the way back to here. I'd be interested to see what happens if we break this trend line. I mean, there's lots of support right at 298 and 299 area. So I don't know if we're going to just go crashing down. Again, one speech could change a lot of things, but I don't know if we're just going to go crashing down. As of right now, we're looking flat. Let's just roll with that idea, and we'll see which way it wants to go. There is this double top. If we look on NQ 15-minute, there's a beautiful double top. So for my futures traders, if you guys want to take a trade over here, there is this double top. So let it retest a little bit, come up to the 10 EMA and look for an entry short. That could get interesting. So yeah, that's what's up with the Qs. Let's go look at SPY. SPY is also screaming for a pullback. This is a perfect high wave candle. SPY has also completed its 5 waves, and I feel like it's just, it's looking for that pullback. SPY, although, is at that double bottom retest. It's at that interesting level. I wonder what we do from here. So it's always fascinating to me in my trading career. I've never seen SPY, Qs, Dow Jones, and RTY, which is IWM, behave completely different from one another. It's odd, and I mean, type it in if you guys have seen that happen before. It's just odd because they all move in synchronization, and it's weird to see them be all different. So anyway, but yeah, SPY is at that interesting level. This looks like, if we look at it on the weekly chart, this looks like it's a beginning of a wave 3, but I don't know if it's going to get going or not. It's important that we hold these levels though on SPY, because if we don't, then it's going to turn into a double top. And I mean, it's just hard for me to sit here today with what's coming at noon to say, oh yeah, we're definitely going in this direction. So we'll leave SPY and the Qs as they are and just sort of focus on, what's moving more. There are lots of interesting tickers that I was looking at earlier. So SPY also has that trend line that's been ongoing from a very long time. I think it could be damaging if SPY lets go of these levels. So let's put an alert here at 408.11. And I will say crossing down. And we'll create that. Okay, cool. I just want to keep an eye on this. I want to see what happens. If this thing is a double top here on the hourly chart and it just retested the neckline and is wanting to roll over, I'd be a big bear right now. So that's why I have the alert there. I just want to be notified when that level breaks. Okay, cool. Let's look at AMD. AMD has an interesting chart. When I was looking at it earlier, it was a little bit lower, but AMD also is due for a pullback. A lot of these things need to come back to their 10 EMA. A, we're extended, and B, we need to come back and retest this neckline of this double bottom. So AMD also has interesting levels. One thing I love about AMD is the fact that it's got nothing to do with AMD, actually. It's the fact that NVIDIA has this beautiful weekly inverse head and shoulders. Guys, I'm looking to buy the dip on NVIDIA around 190-ish level. When it comes back down and retest this level, I think I'll add some to my long-term accounts. I was so disappointed. I haven't bought the bottom of anything ever. I'm not that great at buying the bottom at all for my long-term account, actually. But I do think that if this thing can get going, once we broke out of this channel and then we started coming back in, I thought we were going to fail it and collapse, but that didn't happen. We actually turned it into an inverse head and shoulders and we went soaring. So I'm looking to buy the dip around 190 level and we'll see. But that's what I love about AMD, because they're both related and, they both tend to move in similar directions. AMD has this double bottom. So one thing I know for sure is that the broader markets are going to do whatever they need to do, but individual stocks are going to stick to, and they're going to be true to themselves. They're going to stick to their charts. They're not going to sway away too much. I mean, if there is demand, it's going to happen. For example, Meta, the whole world is collapsing, and here's Meta putting in, $200 candles. I mean, $70 candles, but it's just, with this gap up and we don't even fade back down. So just keep that in mind. I mean, you'll never buy the bottom ever. by the exact bottom average. So that's what I'm planning on doing on NVIDIA. Anyway, that's my rant. Beautiful cup and handle on that too. So for AMD, I am looking to see if there are any pullbacks. I just don't think right now is the right time to buy. And I'm not looking for any specific bull trades unless we take out the high of this candle. So, I mean, if bearish is the only way we can trade it, then I'll look for bear setups. But it looks kind of interesting. It is a Morningstar reversal. I don't know if this is gonna pan out. It just depends on what the broader markets are gonna do today. So for a day trading perspective. So Ron says, Maloney, hey, good morning. Hey, everybody. Good morning, Ron. Okay, let's go look at Meta real quick also. Meta has 2 inside candles. That, my friends, is my favorite consolidation pattern. That is beautiful on the daily. So at open, I'm looking to go fill that gap a little bit. I hate that we're not really letting go of these levels. There is support here. So old resistance will turn into support. And there is that right now. I'd be really interested in seeing what Meta does below 183. So let's see. I mean, maybe there are moving averages holding this thing up too. I'm surprised it hasn't faded back down at all. Yeah, there's not much. So if Meta wants to come down here and turn into an inverse head and shoulders, I think we could get that push up higher. But you know, this past week has pushed a lot of things up, and it's like what inflation, what bad economy. We're back to just being great again. So I unfortunately have not bought the dip in anything. So I don't really have, I mean, I have my long-term account and I have SPY and Tesla, but I don't really have anything that I'm proud and I could show off and be like, I bought the exact bottom. That doesn't happen. So yes, but for a day trade, I think this is going to get interesting. So I am looking for a little bit of buying coming in the morning and then shorting off of that. I think that's gonna be fun. We're gonna try to fade this gap, although it is extremely strong, you guys. Don't underestimate this candlestick pattern. I mean, there's upper shadows, but the fact that we gapped up that much and all of these buyers, I mean, if you look over here, there's more green candles than red, right? All of these buyers are profitable and no one really wants to exit their position. That tells me there's lots of strength. So let's watch this guy. I think it's one of my favoriteest patterns for today. I'm going to move it a little bit higher and I will look to fade that gap. So we'll see where that wants to go. Baba, I'm in this bearish. There's not much to look at here. It's gapping up. For a day trade, I don't really like it as much. I do think I did look at Baidu, and I think that was gapping up quite a bit. No, this isn't it. Here. So this has, I mean, it's a retest gap. You know, lots of bears are trapped in here, and we're gapping above all of that resistance. I think it'd be a great idea if you want to go study gaps that gap above resistances. They normally fade a tiny little bit and then get going again. So, I mean, this is a very large gap, right? It's a solid $20 gap. So I wouldn't recommend, go long right at open. Look for some pullbacks, look for some signs of reversals. And I think Baidu today could be a fun day trading ticker. Let's see. Yeah, nothing really interesting on the weekly chart, but it's definitely gapping up quite a bit. And it's gapping up above the 100 on the weekly. So that's interesting. Lots of consolidation here, guys. This is ready to take off. All right, Apple. One of the most interesting tickers out there currently. Apple has this inverse head and shoulders. And guys, if you want to look at anything specific, feel free to throw it in there. Apple has this inverse head and shoulders on the daily. We are above all the moving averages. We are at the top of my trend line. I think it's time we adjust this. Let's move this guy up a little bit. I just hate it when these things don't align. It's like, no, I don't want to have a tiny bit of thing up sticking out. But anyway, we're in this. I mean, if you guys can just kind of sort of follow it, we're in this pattern right now, and we're sitting at the top. So I wonder if we get a slight pullback. We do have a high RSI. Last time we had that situation happen, I mean, you know what happened next. The ranges, although on Apple, are getting narrower and narrower. So now, I mean, at some point we're gonna have to come to a decision, and whether we go higher or lower. If we go higher, friends, this will be a beautiful bull flag pattern. If we take off and go higher, if we go lower, I think it's going to be disastrous. I think we could seriously see it come down quite a bit. So yeah, it's going to get interesting to see which way this pattern breaks. You may not be able to see it as neatly on the daily, but on the weekly, I mean, on the monthly, it's definitely there, undeniably there. Weekly also has a whole bunch of green candles. So for today, I can't possibly be trading anything super bullish today unless it really gives me like a great setup and lots of conviction. But Apple, I think, is due for a pullback. So for today, I'm going to put it in my bear basket, and we'll see. We can write it down to the 200 on the daily, definitely. Yes, doable. It is an inside candle from yesterday. So let's see which way this wants to break. Personally, I love trading inside candles. I truly do. And this is a lot of consolidation really after a big, huge volume. So I do think that we could get a fade back down to the 10 EMA. Let's move Apple up a little bit. It's surprising because I normally don't like shorting Apple. It's like the strongest stock out there. But we'll put it in our bear basket right up here. Let's go look at NVIDIA. Let me look at the comments real quick. Can we look at Microsoft? Of course, absolutely. Let's look at Softy. Microsoft. I think there was news. What is the news? They said they're not going to buy Activision. Is that correct? Or is this, well, it says ChatGPT. Something related to that. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a gap and go. It's looking good right now. Although I like my gap and goes to be lots of, imagine if there were like 6 bear candles and then we were gapping up. That would be interesting. For example, like this, and then we gapped up. That could really push it in the right direction. This is a gap and go, and there is resistance right here at 264. So I would want to see a little bit of a pullback at open, and then we could go higher. But yeah, I like it. There's nothing, I mean, inverse head and shoulders. We retested the neckline and we blasted off. Let's see. We're trying to do a double bottom here. We are at that weekly trend line. I think if we can come back down to 247, I think for longer term picture, that's what I'm looking at. If we can come back down to 247, retest this trend line, and then go higher, that would be cool. But for a day trade, I think it could fade. It could definitely go higher. So let's keep an eye on that. We'll look at Microsoft in our bull basket. We'll put it in our bull basket. No. Here, so right below Apple, go. What is up with you? Awesome. Okay, we'll leave it there. AMD wants to stay up. Okay, cool. It's AI related. Okay, cool. Chuck says Shopify. So let's look at Shop real quick, and then we will go look at our beloved Tesla also. I wanted to show you guys something on Tesla. So Shop, you guys, I think this has been, it's really basing down here, and it's trying. So do you guys see how, a whole bunch of tickers are coming together and putting in this like bottoming pattern? Again, could be a beautiful trap that we that this could just go collapsing down, or it's truly just basing now. But I see this happen on a lot of things. It's either a double bottom or a inverse head and shoulders pattern. So on Shopify for long term, I'm looking to add more shares to my long term account at 45. I did miss the bottom right here. I really wanted to go in with Yates. Yates, one of our moderators with Real Life Trading. That dude, I think possibly has like a whole bunch of Shopify shares because he's been adding along the whole way. So but it's there. So for Shop today, for a day trade specifically, look for that pullback, right? Long term, buy the dip, look for that pullback. I think today we can get that pullback on certain tickers, for sure. It's not really gapping down, but this is kind of it's an inside candle. It's really at the bottom of the barrel of the inside candle. I think it could easily pull back to its 10 EMA. So this is also one we should keep an eye on and not let out of sight. So let's watch Shopify as well for our bear basket. And we will see which way it wants to go. We'll put it right next to Apple. Okay, cool. Awesome sauce. Mark says NQ, please. LAC. Netflix. Let's go look at Netflix. Oh my God. Netflix just is such a beautiful, beautiful monster lately. Like it's just, I don't know what to do with this guy. So I had this swing short on Netflix, but do you guys follow this with me? So do you guys see this divergence on Netflix on the daily? This bear divergence. Do you also see? So I hated that the bull volume was increasing and there was very little bear volume. That I did not like. But if I can get one bear candle with lots of bear volume, that would really, really make me feel like Netflix is in the right direction for a pullback. It is like the strongest stock out there. I see this head and shoulders happening. It's a perfect head and shoulders. There is this trend line that Netflix also broke. So, I mean, the signs are all out there, but then the minute you get into a trade, it's like doing this number. See the head and shoulders, this is the head and shoulders that I got into, and then it did this number and stopped me out. So, I took some profit over here, so I didn't really lose money on it, but it just trailed me out. So that kind of made me mad. But there is this move happening on Netflix, and it's looking pretty cherry right now to put this in terms of Johnny Guarco. You're looking pretty cherry. So definitely keep an eye on this guy for a bear move today. When I say keep an eye on this guy for a bear move today, I genuinely mean I will not look for any bull trades on this today. If a bull trade's happening, to me, in my opinion, we may not get that great of a setup. Doesn't mean that it can't take off. It can, but I am looking for, let's say if the markets just do this, then I'm looking for that bear play down on Netflix. That's just how I plan on playing this guy. So we shall see. Dan, yes, we will look at Tesla. Let's go look at NQ real quick. NQ, I have realistic ranges on this guy. So if you guys want to entertain this with me, on NQ, we've been consolidating a whole lot here. Okay. And I don't know if this is a wave 4 and we go higher, or if this is a reversal and we go lower. If we look at the hourly, there are levels that we should have held, like here, right here. But then we turn into a trap every single time we let go of those levels. Like 12,500 really needs to hold. And there's this double top. There's this ginormous double top that looks like we just retested and came down. So a lot of things are really in the hands of how the speech goes today, right? Here's our channel to day trade in today. Right here. And the bottom is right over here. And it's just the matter of who breaks first, the bulls or the bears. And I truly, if I had to put my life on it, I couldn't tell you. I can't. Uh, Ideally, I would like the Bears to win, but I don't know how that's going to play out. But I would watch this range very, very carefully. Either direction we break in, I think the money is definitely there. So if we break down, we could easily go down another 300-400 points. If we break up, we go higher. Then on the 4 hours, this would just turn into a wave 4, and we could go make a new high. So the odds of us going higher are low, but still, I mean, it's not like it's not there. So definitely just watch this range and see which direction we break in. I'd hope bearish, but again, hope is just hope. So I don't know. Let's go see Tessie. So yesterday I had this cute trade on Tesla. And I was just kind of playing around with this idea of shorting Tesla over here, but I mean, I'm not really in it. I haven't really filled anything. Beautiful inside high wave candle. Tesla is extremely extended, friends. I don't know how else to explain this, or in what other words to put this, but this is extended. And there is that divergence. I mean, it's not a very clear one. We didn't make that higher high, but our size kind of getting there. Last time we were doing something like that, Tesla was here. So, oh no, Tesla was here. So all we're looking for is that pullback. I don't care if it wants to go do that. So in terms of day trading today on Tesla, I don't want to be looking specifically for bull trades. I really just want to look for those pullbacks, but it is super, super strong. It's in the news a whole lot. Something or the other always just comes out. Some guy brought back the accident news today on I was listening to news earlier, and they were talking about how this guy intentionally crashed his Tesla and everybody survived, and just it's the safest car out there, and production's doing great and pricing's doing great. So really, it's just so in news all the times. It's like hard to short, but hard to go long off of these levels too. For a day trade too, seriously, things could turn at any second. So for a day trade, if I could get a bear move going, I think if the broader markets pushed it down, we could easily pull back another 6-7 points for a day trade, and I think it would be a great risk to reward kind of play. So Tessie, I'm going to move up along with Shop and Apple, and we'll look for those plays. Microsoft is the only one in our bull basket. Tesla is bear, Shop, bear, Apple, bear basket. Meta, we will watch and see which way it wants to go. All right, cool. Did I answer? Did I go through all of the tickers? We have RCL, and somebody said LAC. Let's go look at LAC. What is LAC, Greg? I don't know. Oh, lithium. Okay, cool. Let's look at LAC. Whoa. This Greg Gilbert is like the boss of finding gap and goes. You, my friend, always have like the most amazing tickers. This is a great gap and go. This I like way more than Microsoft. Yeah, I do. This is interesting. What are you thinking, Greg? I definitely think we could go make that high. I wouldn't just go in at open, just all in. I think I want to add a little bit. Like I want to do it at 25.40-ish. See if we can get that fade and then go higher. I do think this can get going though, because there's, it's just the bear volume's definitely there. And we have that inverse head and shoulders. It's not a perfect one, but it's there. We could take off on this. Looks good. What does it look like on the weekly? Oh yeah. Look at that on the weekly. We're breaking out of this trend line. That's cool. That's amazing. Yes, stock it at open and definitely keep me posted, because I want to follow this trade with you. That's awesome. SWKS. Let's look at SWKS. Skyworks Solutions. Oh yeah, All right, YouTube land. Unfortunately, the markets are open and we're going to have to say goodbye here. But definitely give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe our channel. Come check us out at rlt.com. This fun doesn't have to end here. We go on all the way till 6 in the evening. So I will